Hey guys, it's Kate, and in this speed build I'm building a Victorian family home on a 30 by 30 lot. I was going for a look of just a small Victorian house. I did not want to build a mansion. I mean, for real life standards, this is definitely a mansion, but if you compare this lot to other lot sizes, for example, it's not that big. It has 3 bedrooms, 1 master bedroom, 2 kids rooms, and 1 bathroom. So it has a decent size for your average sim family, I would say. And here I'm building the exterior, and I was going for a very classic Victorian Queen Anne kind of look. I mean, there are different Victorian architectural styles, but I wanted to build something that is a Queen Anne house. I also love all the other Victorian styles, but I tried to recreate this kind of style and did my best. And originally I planned to build a house that is almost completely black on the outside. I just wanted to add some white here and there, maybe some columns, maybe just a few completely white colors, so basically just a monochrome build. But then I felt that it doesn't look dreamy enough. I'm usually going for this fairy tale kind of look, not always, but I wasn't really feeling a house that is completely black. But then I just changed things a little bit up and I added the roof that has a warm color, and also the stone walls that are part of the boarding pack. I love these so much, but I still added a lot of black here and there, so this build has a lot of contrast going on. The roof of the tower is completely black, for example. I also added a black wall in the front and the columns, and I'm going to change a few things up later. I have to say, I will change the fence to white, for example, but I mean, there is a lot of contrast going on between black and white and pastel colors, and I think that this makes this build a bit unique. I have never built anything like this before. I love to work with contrast personally, but I've never done something that is a mix of darkness and almost a little bit spooky and just these warm, dreamy fairy tale kind of colors. I'm also going to add a few flowers here and there, as you will see, to really work out that contrast. And here I'm adding a lot of shelves to the tower. I love to use a lot of details, as you guys know. I use these shelves just to add more detail, but also they basically look like freezers or something. I just love to do that, and I also made sure that they won't clip on the inside. And I just continued the look, of course. At the back of the house, I added the white windows and a lot of columns and all that stuff. And the chimney just adds to the wonderful contrast between dark and pastel colors. And I really enjoy how this build turned out. Recently, I have been so inspired by any kind of old house and anything that is a bit spooky. I mean, this isn't a spooky house, even though Halloween is finally around the corner. But I just felt like, I don't know, building something Victorian. I watched The Haunting of Hill House during the last 1 or 2 weeks, I don't even know anymore. And I enjoyed it a lot. And in the TV show, it's a Tudor house, but I just generally felt inspired by anything old and a little bit spooky. So I thought, why not building a Victorian house? I just love Victorian houses. I think if I could live in any kind of house, it would probably that. I just think if you would live in a house like this, a original, authentic Victorian house, nothing that you just built like this, but like a legit Victorian house. Just imagine how old a house like this is and all the people that lived in there. I mean, just imagine if the walls of the house would be able to tell stories. It's just so exciting, and I don't know, I just love the style, and I love that the Victorian era was a little bit dark, and I think this is why we always think that these kind of houses look a little bit spooky, even though they are not. And I don't know, I just love this look. And here I'm working on a curved path. I just felt like adding one, even though I always say that usually you want to build a path like this without a raised foundation, because otherwise the round foundation at the edges stick out and it looks weird. But I just decided to use some rocks to hide the edges. I wanted to use a lot of rocks either way for landscaping and to make it look a little bit unique and interesting on the outside. So I thought, why not? And it worked wonderfully. I also made a tutorial about this. If you want to check it out, I'm going to link it down below. And And for the interior, I'm starting to work on the interior here. I was going for the same contrast as on the exterior. I used a lot of dark colors, this brown for example, but I still wanted to have some warmth going on, which is why I chose a very warm, beautiful brown and not too dark. I didn't want to have black walls or floors. And this kitchen is part of the vampire pack. It's white again, same contrast as you see on the outside. I used a lot of white columns in the windows, and obviously you can see the windows on the inside, so there's a lot of white going on at the walls just because of that already. I also used beige rocks and this beautiful fireplace. I used a lot of stuff of the vintage Glamour pack because I wanted the interior to look old-fashioned, old-timey. I just wanted to have the feel going on. I didn't want the house to be Victorian and old on the outside and then having something very modern on the inside, but I still wanted to have a little mix, so I used a lot of the vintage Glamour pack stuff. And I don't know, while it looks definitely old-timey, I think that it still looks stylish and a little bit modern at times. And especially at the top floors, I used a few pops of color here and there without going overboard, and I think it turns out so nice. Also, I want to say sorry if I sound a little bit weird at times, because I don't know, I think that I might have a cold coming on. My nose is a little congested at times and my throat feels a little bit sore, so sorry if you guys can hear it. As I mentioned earlier, I watched The Haunting of Hill House and I enjoyed it so much. Let me know in the comments if you guys have watched it as well, or if you're still watching it, or if you're planning to watch it. Personally, I think it's so great. As you guys know, I'm such a Halloween and horror fan, so it's right up my alley. I really enjoyed it. I don't know, not going to spoil anything. I hate spoilers, but I'm just going to say that I don't know, I think a lot of horror movies nowadays, or horror TV shows, I don't know, they're just so shallow and they're just jump scares and that's it. But this show was just, I don't know, just the plot is so good. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm sad that I'm already done watching it. I can't wait for another season. And I also started to watch The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I started yesterday because I had finished The Haunting of Hill House. I think there's so many good horror shows on Netflix this year for Halloween. I mean, I'm a little sad that there is no Stranger Things, but The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is so good. When I was younger, I used to watch Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the TV show, and this one is so different, but so good. At first, I was a little bit scared that I might compare the two a little bit too much and that I might be disappointed, but I mean, it's completely different. Both of them are based on the comic, so they are completely different in my opinion. I haven't read the comics, so I can't tell you guys which one is more authentic and more based on the comic, but I don't know, this show is really, really awesome so far, and I can't wait to watch another episode later. And here I'm using the pops of color that I mentioned earlier. I decided to use a lot of blue for the bathroom, and originally I wanted to use a lot of blue for the bedroom as well, but as you will see in a few seconds, I'm going to switch the colors up a little bit. So the bedroom is really dark, there's a lot of black, but then there is the stunning mint green as a contrast, and the kids' rooms are pink and green, so I would say that the top floor is a little bit more colorful than the bottom floor, but then again the bottom floor has more of the warm wood going on. And I know that I talked about it a lot during the last weeks, but finally Halloween is here. Tomorrow's Halloween and I'm just so ready for this. I'm going to carve some pumpkins later. Last year I couldn't find any decent pumpkins, but this year I have some wonderful pumpkins that I'm going to carve, and I'm not sure yet how I'm going to carve them, like which faces or something. I will see what I can come up with, and I'm just so excited. I'm also going to buy some more candy for the trick-or-treaters, going to add some more decorations to the outside, and then I don't know, I just wait for tomorrow like a kid waits for Christmas. I don't know, I just enjoy Halloween, one of the best days of the year. And comment down below, what are your plans for Halloween? Are you going to dress up? Are you going to go to a Halloween party? Are you going to go trick-or-treating with your kids? Are you going to go trick-or-treating yourself? I don't know, just let me know, what are your plans? I'm going to dress up a little bit as a witch, and I'm also going to use some fake blood, so I don't know, it's probably going to be something like a zombie witch, I don't know, just for fun. And then I'm probably going to watch some horror movies and all that stuff. I don't know, let's see what happens tomorrow. And now it's time to announce the winner of the giveaway. In case you are out of the loop, a while ago I hit 1K subscribers on this channel, and I'm just so grateful, and I'm still over the moon. So I decided to have a little giveaway so someone can win a stuff pack of their choice, just to give a little something back to you guys, because I'm really honestly so grateful. You guys make this so awesome. It's just the best thing ever. It's so much fun for me, and I'm just so grateful for everyone who comments, who likes, who subscribes, I don't know, who shares my builds and who retweets my builds on Twitter, just anything. Thank you to all of you from the bottom of my heart. And I used a website called commentpicker.com. I'm also going to link it down below just for transparency, just so you guys know how I determined who won. And I used this website to pick a random comment, and the winner is Final Fantasy Chick 88. So please DM me on Twitter or on my Facebook page, wherever you like. Just contact me, please. And I'm also going to leave a comment down below, Final Fantasy Chick 88's original comment, the comment that won, just so you get a notification. And congrats for winning, and thank you everyone for participating in this giveaway, and there are definitely going to be more giveaways in the future, so don't be sad if you haven't won, and thank you everyone. And as you just saw, I worked on the exterior. I didn't add a classic garden. I mean, there's a little garden in the back, there's a patio, and just have a little barbecue, and so your Sims can sit on the outside. But the front part is the main garden, I would say, and it isn't a classic garden. And there is the beautiful gazebo that I mentioned earlier. Again, I used a combination of black and white just to stay within the color scheme, and I added a curved path by using the terrain paint tool. So we have two curved paths here, one that was built by using rounded foundations, and one that I simply drew on the ground by using terrain paint tools. And I used a lot of rocks to frame the paths at the edges so it looks nice and beautiful. And I added some flowers. I'm going to change some things up for the final build. As I said, I'm going to change the color of the fence, for example. And I'm also going to change a few flowers and change the color and all that stuff. And I'm also going to add a little pond. So this is it. This speed build is coming to an end. Thank you so much for watching, and congrats again to Final Fantasy Chick 88. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. If so, please like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below if you want. I will get back to you, and I hope I see you in the next video. Bye bye.